Hi everyone, Brian here, and welcome back to my channel. And this is for what I think you could call a rather unusual and impromptu video. Unusual because it's not a video that is part of my ongoing series, Tarot to the Nines, which has been my obsession for the last several weeks. And impromptu because I actually hadn't planned to make this video, but I have had a delivery. In fact, I've had 2 deliveries. And those of you who are familiar with the packaging that includes these lovely little love hearts will know that these deliveries come from the wonderful Little Red Tarot. And I have to say I'm very surprised because I know what I've ordered. I haven't forgotten what I've ordered. But I hadn't expected that the delivery would arrive so quickly. I thought I was going to have to wait for possibly several weeks. So I'm very excited. And what I'm going to do, you'll know already what video this relates to, but I'm going to do a bit of a lucky dip for myself by opening one of these, and whichever one I open is the one that we're going to do an unboxing of and quick walkthrough of and review and first impressions. So I'm just picking up the first one that's in front of me, which is the smaller of the 2. Thank you, Little Red Tarot, for sending this. And find this scissors. This is why I don't normally do unboxings, because I'm worried that I'm going to damage things. But we'll have a go at getting this out of the packaging without doing any major damage. You can see my wincing there already as I rip into it. Okay, oh, this is exciting. So, wrapped up with bubble wrap and in some crepe paper. I think I know which one this is now. And we have got Christmas. We have got the Naked Heart Tarot. So I am going to clear some space here. I'll put the other parcel down there for now. And let's go into this again, being very careful not to damage. Now, this deck I had to have. This is one of those, I think I mentioned a while ago that I was having a bit of a moratorium on buying new decks unless they either espoused a significantly new system of tarot, or unless they really kind of spoke to me when I first encountered them. And this deck definitely falls into the second category. I don't know if it falls into the first because I don't really know all that much about it. What can I tell you in terms of why I was attracted to it? I think I had seen some of the images early on, you know, several weeks ago, and had kind of made a mental note and thought that looks interesting. Didn't think any more of it for quite a long time, and then I saw it, I think on Kelly's channel, The Truth in Story. She did a walkthrough, and I was just again captivated by the images, and I thought I'm going to have to get that deck. And so I did, and I'm glad I did, and here it is. So nice sturdy hard box. I don't know what, I'm presuming that's the moon. Is it the moon? I don't know. I've got something up here about Little Red Tarot and about the Naked Heart Tarot, and also about the other deck, which is in my other parcel, which I'll film a video for next. So we'll find out when we go through. But so that's the cover, that's the back, some more pictures on the back, elemental signs on the side, and opening it up, we have a little ribbon to pull it up with, always a good thing. A very, not a little white book, a very thick white book, which I think probably will have a great deal of information in. And here we have the cards, mercifully unshrink wrapped, so I don't have to risk damaging them. So we're going to go through this in a second, but let's do a bit of background. So first of all, there's a message from the deck creator, which says, the Naked Heart Tarot. This deck has been created and set with the intention of providing healing energy, clarity, guidance and truth. Each card provides insight into the naked heart, where ego is extinguished and purity of light flows within you. I'm glad we found each other. Much love, Gillian. I'm glad we found each other too. That's very nice. Now on the website, I'll read for you some of the background to the deck on the website, just so you know, and so I know what we're looking at. So it says here, the Naked Heart Tarot is created for the tarot mystics, magic makers, beginners and pros. There is an old legend that says, a long time ago, humans knew the secret to making their hopes and dreams a reality. But they abused it, so the keepers of the knowledge decided to bury the secret where only those who truly deserved the wisdom would find it. The secret keepers debated long and hard about the safest place to hide it. They contemplated the bottom depths of the ocean, but they knew humans would eventually find a way to swim there. They contemplated the highest glacial mountains, but they knew humans would ultimately learn to climb that high. They contemplated the middle of the earth, but they knew in time humans would learn to dig that deep. Finally, the wisest of the keepers stepped forward and said, "Hide the secret in the heart of humans. Only the courageous and the brave will dare to look there." Consider this deck the magical gateway to all your secrets. It will guide, support and align you with your highest and deepest self. The Naked Heart Tarot is the key that will help unlock the sacred space within, where secrets dare to be revealed. It will hold a mirror to the deepest parts of your soul and help illuminate the unseen truths that are locked within, revealing both the light and the shadow side of human nature. It is an intuitive nature, an element-based deck that allows your energy to come bursting through. With magical images derived, channeled and inspired by Rider-Waite-Smith, it ignites your imagination and allows your intuition to flow. The Naked Heart Tarot holds a very chatty energy, allowing you to tap into your own voice, spirit guides, animal totems and secrets so that you can connect deeply with your higher self and presence. So very nice introduction and preamble, and very nice packaging. The bottom of the box got these lovely suit symbols and confirming for us that we have got fire for wands, water for cups, air for swords and earth for pentacles. So the traditional element associations. And just slipping off a bit of plastic. So now we have the deck, and let's see how it's organised. Okay, so it seems to be majors first. So I'm just going to go through this and we're going to do, my impressions will be coming along at the same time as your impressions if you haven't seen this deck, because I haven't looked at the deck yet. I haven't even looked at all that many images online. It was one of these things where I saw enough images to make me realise that I wanted it. But I didn't bother looking at more, which I would normally do, simply because I was so struck by the images. So here we go. So here is, first of all, let's show you the back. So those are the backs of the cards. Lovely sacred geometry shape there. Very appealing to me, given Tarot to the Nines, which those of you who've been watching that series will know that we've covered quite a lot about sacred geometry in that. Now I'm going to just put the light down a bit so that you get a clearer look at the cards. I think one of the first things to say actually about the cards is that we what we've got here is a deck that is very bright, lots of white space, and we can see already in the full lots of white space. Name of the card at the bottom, number of the card at the top, elemental attribution also at the top. Lovely image. And then the Magician. Wow, that's very powerful, isn't it? I love this. We see the symbols of the suits, the all-seeing eye, and the lemniscate at the top, and actually very kind of synchronous in the sense that I've just done a video on the Tarot 8, and we talk a lot in that about the symbol of the lemniscate and how it relates to various cards, including, of course, the Magician. High Priestess. Gorgeous. Now here's a card that, of course, is very important to me. Many of you will know why. This is one of the cards that I saw and thought, yes, I'm going to have this deck. And it's the Empress, or Earth Mother, as it's known in this deck. Very powerful. I love the simplicity of the images. I may, if we get to a particular point where I think, oh, there's something I don't quite understand, we may have a look into the guidebook. So there we have Sky Father. In fact, since I've said it, let's do it. I'm going to have a look in the guidebook for the Sky Father and see what it said. I opened it at Sky Father. I don't know what that means, but I did. So, okay, let me just read through so you get a sense of what information is encoded into these cards. So, Sky Father, which is the Emperor, Trump 4, the leader of structure and order. A cosmic, long-bearded man with years of wisdom and knowledge, he is the father of the deck, the protector. He wears a crown signifying his reign and control over his decisions. He is in touch with the workings of universal order and knows his position. He has earned leadership and wisdom through life experience and is respected and admired for it. The message: Sky Father suggests cosmic forces are at work and are helping to strengthen your path and guide your future. To create success, you need to be honest with your intentions, direction, and dedication in the pursuit of making things happen. Your mind needs to be clear, focused, and guided by your courage to see things through. It is your devoted loyalty to success and those that you care about that will allow for internal and external expansion. And then it goes on a bit more with more divinatory meanings. And then we have a list of additional meanings. Additional meanings: leadership, courage, protection, loyalty, planning, organised, goal setting, control and confidence. Reversed meaning: chaos, inefficiency, abuse of power, egotistical, lack of flexibility and domination. And then the symbolic keys, and this is the bit that I think is rather interesting. The beard relates to wisdom and knowledge. The galaxies indicate providing protection over universal things. The crown is earned leadership and admiration. We've got an alchemy symbol, which is presumably that at the bottom, for life. And we have got the astrology symbol at the top there for Aries. The gemstone related to this is carnelian, a crystal for inner strength, courage and decision making. And then a reflection at the end of the text says, what qualities do you possess as a leader? Try organising and structuring your goals so they have purpose, guidance and follow through. Now I like that very much because one of the things that I'm very big on as a coach who uses tarot cards is looking at the questions that cards prompt. We often think of tarot cards as being about answers. I often think about tarot cards as bringing with them empowering questions. And it'll be interesting to see if the rest of the book includes questions, but certainly there's a question there which I think prompts some interesting thought. So, I spent a lot of time on the Sky Father, but worth it I think. The Hierophant, except it's not the Hierophant, it's the Sage. I love that. Apart from obviously the Sky Father, which isn't really obviously a real person in the sense that it was a bearded face but with galaxies in it rather than an actual human face, so far we haven't seen any human faces in the deck. We've seen eyes, we've seen animals, we've seen trees, owls, so I think that's rather nice. The Lovers. I won't go into all of these. Oh, the Chariot, two-headed Pegasus. Strength, the card that I have just done a video on, and again we see that magical 8 appearing, the Lemniscate. Wonderful. Oh, now this is another card that I saw and just loved, the Hermit. Isn't that powerful? I love the use of colour and black and white in this, the use of space, lots of space in this deck. It really holds true to the idea of allowing room for one's intuition. Wheel of Fortune. Wow, lovely. Justice. The Hanged Man, a little bat. Isn't that great? I love that. Death. Oh, again, very powerful. Lovely, simple images, but lots of symbolism. So I think this will be a great deck to study. Temperance. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Because we normally associate the scales with justice. So it's rather interesting to see the scales here being used for temperance. That'll be interesting, you know, to compare. It's just interesting choices. We've obviously already seen the scales with justice, but interesting to see them reappear. The devil. Tower. Star. The colours in this really kind of stand out, don't they? Because they're so judiciously used. They just really kind of resonate. And really rich, deep colours. I mean, looking at that star, there's lots of different blues in there. So, lots of complexity. There we have the moon. Wonderful. And the sun. The scarab beetle. Judgment. Very nice. The universe. That's for the world. And then we have an extra trump here. The naked heart. Now, of course, in traditional tarot, the 22 relates to, or can relate to, the Fool. So interesting that this has got an extra trump, the naked heart. And that really kind of speaks to me in the sense that one of the things that I've talked about in Tarot to the Nines is the idea that when you get to 22 and return to the Fool in the progression of the major arcana, it's a return to unity, a return to wholeness and non-duality, and one might say dropping away of the ego. And you know, obviously this deck is about that in its thinking. So those are the majors. Very, very powerful. And now on to the minors, and we're starting with wands. Ace of Wands. Very simple, straightforward. Elemental symbol at the top, fire. Two of Wands. Three of Wands. Four of Wands. Five. Six. I'm laughing because my birth number is 7, and so for me the sevens in the minor arcana are my challenges and opportunities, and the Seven of Wands certainly always, I feel, has related to challenge, the idea of having to stand your ground. This beauty is definitely standing ground. Lovely. Eight of Wands, movement and motion. Definitely see that there. Nine of Wands. 10 of Wands. Beast of Burden. Now we're on to, of course, the first set of suits, court cards rather, in the suit. So we've got the Child of Wands, and what we're seeing here is that it's the fire suit and it's the earth court, so earth of fire. Lovely. And then we have a Youth of Wands, and so here clearly the equivalent to the Knight is fire, fire of fire. And then we have, oh sorry, that's air of fire, because that, I didn't look closely enough, that's actually the air symbol going into fire. So the Knights here are air, and the Mother of Wands, equivalent to the Queen, is water of the fire suit, and then the King is fire of the fire suit. Wow. The artwork is outstanding. Really, really powerful. On to water and cups. Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. And I love seeing the, obviously the deck is the Naked Heart deck, and you can see that it's an anatomically correct looking kind of heart, and you see that again there. No love hearts, real hearts. Very powerful image. Two of Cups. Three of Cups. Wow, wow, wow. I'm not even halfway through the deck and already I am just enchanted. Four of Cups. Five of Cups, a blue heart. So simple in its imagery and yet so complex. Six of Cups. Seven of Cups. That's brilliant. Another seven, of course, which is my challenge and opportunity. And for me, Seven of Cups is all about are you being befuddled by what you see, by your choices. And given that that giraffe has got its head not just in the clouds, but in what looks like a kind of really thick, sticky rain cloud, then the meaning of this card just shines through. But in a kind of playful way. I love that. Eight of Cups. Not only is the bear walking away from the cup, but it's making sure that its tushy knocks them all over. So, bit of a statement there. Nine of Cups. Oh my god. I've just seen the next card, that's why I said that. Although this is amazing too. Nine of Cups. But look at this. That is stunning. You know, it's not often, well it's not that it's not often, but sometimes you get a deck and you just get a visceral reaction as you're looking at it, and that is what I'm getting here. This is just making me happy as I watch. So now let's see if my elemental symbolism understanding can continue to not let me down. So here we're looking at, again, so the page here is definitely earth of water. Yeah, the knight, air of water, or the youth of cups. The mother of cups, water of water. So they're, yeah, so all of the kings are fire, etc. I've seen some decks where actually the suit associations change as you move from one suit to the other. The courts in the suit change their associations. I can't think of any at the moment which do that, but I'm sure I have seen some. But this is sticking very much to the kings or the fathers are the fiery element of the element. The fiery aspect of the element. Father of cups. So that is the cups and the wands. So now, moving on to the swords. I'm trying to keep these cards in order so I don't lose myself with them. So, Ace of Swords. Two of Swords. I'm not explaining some of the symbolism because I think it's fairly obvious. And I don't mean obvious in a pejorative sense, I just mean that it speaks very directly. You know, the idea of, you know, balance but also being slightly weighed down, as one is often with these swords. But look, the swords handles are made of feathers, so there's that interesting balance between balance and flexibility and lightness and weight there, which I think is very much intrinsic to the Two of Swords, and it really comes across there. Three of Swords, a heart which looks like a rib cage. Four of Swords. I think that's a little black fox. I see it and I kind of see Maya, of course, but then, you know, why wouldn't I see Maya everywhere? So I'm going to have a look at this just so we can be absolutely oh, it's a black cat. It is a little black cat. Oh, that's lovely. I thought it might have been a fox, but I think that's probably because I just saw foxes earlier on. But that makes me even happier. So meditative space for stillness this relates to. I'm going to call this Maya's card from now on. Meditative space of stillness. A black cat rests under 3 swords and above 1, showing that it has overcome many obstacles. Now is the time to rest, regroup and recharge. I'm sure Maya would concur with this, absolutely. And let's have a look at some of the symbol associations in here. So additional messages: rest, meditation, stillness, quiet introspection, knowledge, release, recuperation. Brilliant. Oh, that's very nice. 5 of Swords, would not want to mess with that geezer. Another one that I saw actually and liked very much, 6 of Swords. Now the 6 of Swords is a card that I often think of as a favourite card, that kind of representation of passage to safety, and this makes me think of those little turtles who are hatched on beaches and then run to the water, or waddle to the water, or whatever it is that turtles do, and it's like against all odds they go for it and they get there, and that's what this makes me think of. Against all odds. The sneaky old 7 of Swords, you've got to kind of love him, but he's a rascal. A rascally raccoon. 8 of Swords. What's that William Blake quote? Binding with briars my joys and desires. Isn't that what the 8 of Swords does? This kind of, the way the mind and opinions, society's opinions, can restrict us. 9 of Swords. And also the way the mind can torture us in terms of nightmares. 10 of Swords. Poor little rat. Doesn't look overly unhappy though. I don't mean he looks happy, I just mean he doesn't look overly unhappy. Oh my God. Oh dear. Now, I thought that the first little black cat was maybe a fox, but it was actually a black cat, and it was, of course, Maya. Well, this indeed must be Maya's suit, because, wow. Child of Swords. Youth of Swords. Mother of Swords. Father of Swords. Gorgeous. Okay, so that's the swords. So now we're on to the final suit, the earthy suit, Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. I love those antlers. They're like their hands just holding the pentacle, offering the energy of the suit to us. This is a powerful deck. 2 of Pentacles. Again, the lemniscate. Infinity, eternity. Very apt that it's in the hourglass. More on all of that in my video on the number 8 in Tarot to the Nines. I'll link it below. 3 of Pentacles. Industry and work. Yep, you get that from the ants. 4 of Pentacles. Look at that face. To me, these animals just look like they're alive. 5 of Pentacles. Oh, that's interesting. Diamond split. Pearls broken. That's a very interesting way of showing impoverishment. Very different to the traditional Rider-Waite symbolism and so on. 6 of Pentacles. I love the colours. 7 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. I just have this feeling I'm going to get to know these characters really well when I use this deck. They are just charming. 9 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. And then on to the course. Child of Pentacles. be buffalo or bison. Youth of Pentacles. Mother of Pentacles. Father of Pentacles. That is an amazing deck. You know, there is not one card I saw there where I felt any feeling of disappointment. That was just brilliant all the way through. So in terms of the book, I'll just let you know, as I say, it's very thick. It has got in it 294 pages, and it has in here my Naked Heart story, which is obviously the story of the deck's creation and where it came from. And then in terms of the content, we've got working with the deck, introduction and various ways of using the cards, understanding the tarot, about the tarot, the major arcana relating to the physical world and the metaphysical world, then about the minor arcana, the suits and the elements, about the court cards, court card attributes, and then information on spiritual growth, levels of maturity and elemental personalities. Quite a number of different ways of looking at the courts. And then symbolic keys and connecting to the cards. So information on astrology and tarot, crystals, gemstones and tarot, reflection and tarot, meditation and tarot. Then working with the back of the deck. That's interesting. A section on tarot and the crystal grid, something on how the grid works, and various things about stones. So those of you who are into stones and crystals, I think would enjoy this. Let me, in fact, just go to that page so I can give you a little bit of an idea of what's covered. So working with the back of the deck. Wow. So the back of the deck was inspired by sacred geometry and the Seal of Solomon, which was said to give King Solomon the ability to speak to the animals and nature. It may be used as a miniature crystal grid. The crystals placed on and around the grid will help amplify the energy infused in the deck and help guide its directed purpose. First, make sure all your crystals are cleansed before you begin, and then place a piece of clear quartz crystal on the back of the deck in the middle of the grid, and then it talks about how to use other crystals in relation to that, and there's a little map there of how to use it. So that will be interesting to those of you who are into crystals. Then also there's a bit about crystals and a bit about the major arcana, minor arcana, and then tarot spreads, various tarot spreads, including at the very end something called the Naked Heart spread. And this spread is intended to align you with your naked heart in its purest state. When your heart is open and trusting, you're in divine connection with your higher self. Your higher self is a higher version of you that is always connected to spirit. When you're connected to your higher self, you're deeply aligned with divine love, light and purpose. You're flowing in your own magnificent energy field. So there we have the spread. Positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aligned around the heart. Card 1 is what your higher self desires most in this moment. 2 is the subconscious block that may be interfering with your purpose. 3 is the conscious fear about trusting the process. 4, your talents and gifts. How can you connect more deeply to these? And then number 5, trust. What you need to do in order to trust the space and place that you are in. How to move forward. So that's a brilliant spread to end things with. So I love the deck. I love the artwork on the deck. I love the book. It's a really super guidebook. And I love the kind of positivity that comes from this, but it's not all kind of, you know, fluffy bunny kind of stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not fluffy bunny. It looks quite, in some places, kind of dark, and, you know, the kind of whole heart thing in itself is quite striking, very visceral, but also very welcoming and compassionate. So I have a feeling that I have just found a new favourite deck. So thank you very much, Gillian, for creating the Naked Heart Tarot. Thank you all for watching my walkthrough and first impressions. And once I've done some work with the deck, I'll let you know how I'm getting on with it. If you have any questions about any of this, please pop them below. As usual, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in hearing more from me on this channel, then please subscribe. And if you click the bell icon down below, you'll get a notification when a new video appears. So I am going to put this deck away, reluctantly, and I am going to have a sip of water. And then I'm going to film my second video of the day, which is going to be unboxing my other little red tarot delivery. So thank you all. See you shortly.